I just broke David Goggins' old pull up world record. Let me explain how.
So I made a decision that completely changed my life. I decided that I want to attempt one of the biggest endurance challenge of my life, 4065 pull-ups in 17 hours. At that time I had no idea whether I would succeed or fail. I was just a 19-year college student with a dream. People ask me why pull-ups, why you put yourself through this. The answer is simple. I wanted to find out what I was capable of. So I took a notebook and wrote one number, 4030. That number became my goal for next 5 months. Month 1 was all about building a foundation. I started training consistently and learning how my body responds to volume. By end of this month, I completed my first 1000 pull-ups. And the plan which I followed is I will show you on the screen. You can see that. And that was the moment I realized that the challenge might actually be possible. I attempted 1000 pull-ups in 2 hours. I felt that it would record. I could break the record very easily. Month 2 was different. I stopped depending on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but consistency stays. Every day become the same. Wake up, train, eat, recover, and repeat. There were days when I didn't feel like training. There were days when my body was tired, but I knew that if I skipped one day, it would be easier to skip the next. The month 2 plan was here. I can show you on the screen. I followed this plan, and on after that month 2 I attempted 2000 pull-ups in 7 hours 15 minutes. Month 3 was there. Things become serious. I started doing around 500 pull-ups almost every single day to strict pull-ups so that my pace doesn't get slow. Slowly my endurance started improving. My hands become stronger. After the tone hands, my mind becomes stronger. At that point, my life revolved around training, while other people enjoy weekends. I was counting reps. Month 4 was the biggest test before the record attempt. I decided to attempt 3107 pull ups, and I did 3107 pull ups in 13 hours, and that was a national record by Gagandeep Singh. Honestly, I didn't know I would complete it, but after finishing that challenge, I realized something important. I wasn't training to attempt that record anymore, I was training to break it. Month 5 was all about preparation. I focused on recovery, sleep, nutrition, and making sure that I was ready for a record. On 7th June, I attempted the record, and before that, 1 week I took rest. And I almost did, before that week, did 600 pull ups every day to make sure I could face that pain. I made sure to eat enough support my training. I focused on staying hydrated during the attempt, giving my body the energy. During long session, I paid close attention to water and recovery because endurance isn't about strength; it is about preparation. Then finally, on June 7th, arrived. I remember waking up, realizing that previous 5 months had all led this one day. Everything was on the line: the training, the sacrifice, the pain, the doubts, everything. I stepped on the bar and started. R1, I started much faster than my planned pace. I knew my fatigue would hit me later, so I wanted to build lead while my body was still fresh. By the end of first hour, I had completed more than 400 pull-ups. R2, everything was still under control. My breathing was good, my grip was strong, and my confidence was growing. I kept reminding myself that this wasn't about strength, it was about endurance. R3, I settled into my rhythm, pull-ups, water, rest, repeat, and I had stopped thinking about 4065. I was thinking about my next rep. R5, the excitement of starting had been disappeared. Reality started to set in. I still had more than half of the challenge remaining. This was where my preparation started to matter. Every few hours I made sure drink fluids and eat bananas to keep my energy level up. I drank fast enough. I knew that if I stopped fueling my body, the challenge would be over. R7, my shoulders were getting tired, my hands were beginning to hurt, but my pace was still good. I had completed 2000 pull-ups at around 7 hours 5 minutes. At this point, I realized this was becoming more mental strength than a physical one. My body wanted to rest, my mind wanted to comfort, but I had spent 5 months preparing for this moment. R9, people around me kept asking me if I was okay. Honestly, I wasn't, but I kept going, one pull up at a time. R10, every rep was becoming harder. I had already spent almost an entire day hanging from a wire, but quitting was never an option. This was one of the toughest hours. My energy was dropping and my hands were constant pain. And R12, this was a turning point. By R12, I had completed 3107 pull-ups
I looked down at my hand and they were completely torn. Every pull-up hurt, every single second hurt. R13, I knew I was going to finish. The only question was whether I could hold on long enough. At 3700 pull-ups, I was almost giving up. I couldn't even feel my arms. At this point, I wasn't competing against any number anymore. I was competing against myself. I stopped thinking about the pain. I stopped thinking about the time. I only focused on one thing, the next rep. The finish line was finally visible. I knew that in less than 2 hours, my life would never be same again. The final hour, 5 months of training, thousands of pull-ups, countless sacrifices, and then one by one the final reps came. I had completed 4065 pull-ups in 17 hours. 5 months of preparation and a moment I will never forget. That day taught me something I will carry with me for rest of my life. Your body is capable of far more than your mind will ever allow you to believe. Looking back, I learned consistency is more powerful than motivation. Your mind will quit long before your body does, and sometimes the biggest limitation exists only in your head. The achievement isn't the end of my journey, it's only chapter 1. My goal is now to continue pushing my limits, attempt bigger challenges, and one day bring even more records to India. If you are watching this, I want you to remember one thing. You don't need to extraordinary to start. You just need to start. Thank you for being part of my journey. Like, subscribe, and share.
Your body and mind will always adjust to more suffering, to more pain. If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more yourself. Stay hard.